Just a few seconds to go before the whistle sounds and before we get underway here in Auckland Park. The final Group A contest, the final contest of the day between Mozambique and Lesotho. Third and fourth in the group will soon go toe-to-toe for a place closer to the top. This is without doubt their most important match as of right now. Lesotho are indeed perpetual underdogs, but does this underdog still have enough barks, still have enough fight for what is shaping up to be the match of their lives? Here we go, Mozambique. Abdul Roroge gets us underway. Mozambique in the red and black shorts, playing from left to right, Lesotho receiving them, and they'll attack via the left-hand side of your screen. Here's Salema. He's partnering Matimbe in that Mozambican midfield. Abdul Roroge. Linho. What a positive start this one is from Mozambique. Abdul Roroge trying to launch a very early attack. Linho occupying the inside left channel. Abdul Roroge. Linho falls to Salema. This is intricate stuff. Abdul clips it over the top, and then the ball across the face is dealt with by Motati. Reaches Sidrek for Mozambique. That's a good challenge from Ketsi. It needed to be to fend off Mozambique for the time being, but they are going nowhere. Here's another opportunity for them. Makuakua in the box now. A multitude of players in red are waiting in the center. Linho strike clatters against Tlojeng. Mozambique and Lesotho are without doubt spoiled with exceptional talent. The young men have a dream to fulfill, a career to chase, and definitely a country to please. The pressure in this match is palpable, but so is their need to leave a mark on this captivating COSAFA Under-17 Championship. And whether you're watching and listening from Maputo or Maseru, strap in for one bumpy ride. However the chips may fall, these two enterprising cohorts of youth have to give it absolutely everything and a little bit more to come out on top in this contest, to leave this match and the A.W. Miller Stadium with 3 points in the bag. Motati, wayward touch from the left fullback. So the lie of Group A goes like so. Angola are first with 4 points. Malawi are second with 2 points after securing 2 back-to-back draws. And third place is Mozambique. They can shoot to the top, level on points with Angola, barring a victory this afternoon. As for Lesotho, they can't afford to be defeated this afternoon, because if that is the case, they'll probably have to pack their bags a little bit earlier than they initially intended. Kuku does well after it was quite a shaky first touch initially. Remember that all 12 teams have played their first match and faced their first foe. This contest is the second of its kind in the second round of fixtures. Tlojeng was put under a tremendous amount of pressure, falls kindly for Ketsi, who put in a good shift against Lesotho, more so defensively than attack-wise. It's tidy defending from Makuakua. As for Mohale, he's leading the charge down the right-hand side for Lesotho, so it does seem as if Lesotho's number 10, Retabile Ngoko, is playing right through the middle. He clattered the crossbar the last time Lesotho stepped out onto this turf against Angola. They did generate quite a few opportunities, did the men in blue, green and white against Angola. Opportunities that they didn't quite manage to take. And as I said at the top of the show, they left it a little bit too late. Found a route back into the contest. By that time, it was already quite sealed. Mohale meets Makuakua. It's nicely done from Linho. And Mozambique can look to attack now, look to launch a counter-attack. if it weren't for that input from Lepiane, who was definitely their standout performer of that opening clash against Angola. Angola could have scored a few more goals if it wasn't for his heroic blocks. Abdul Roge. Salema. Makua goes across the face to Makombe. Easily identifiable. Makombe. That's strong and hefty from Cedric. And the referee, Negongo Naftal, sounds his whistle. He did come in quite harsh, did Cedric. But nothing that Masitela isn't used to. And it was a tough one to take because he wasn't exactly expecting it, was Masitela. Hlojeng plays it short to Ketsi, who gives it back to his captain in return. Then he goes long, does Hlojeng. That's a useful ball. Hlohlongwane. It's hammered out by Ngome from Mozambique. This is indeed a highly consequential match in Group A that pits two out-of-form outfits against one another. Two teams that could turn a corner with one mighty fine display, with one mighty fine start. Mozambique looking to start on the front foot. Linho. That'll likely go down as a shot on target. Definitely intended to cross the ball, did Linho. But it had Moleli worried, even if it was for a brief moment or two. Matimbe filters in a neat little nutmeg and gets taken out afterwards. So Lesotho, just like Namibia and Botswana, are confronted by the same reality. There's currently a 0 next to their name, a 0 they seek to abolish and exchange with 3 invaluable points, but they'll have to be near perfect against Mozambique and a little bit lucky as well. And Makua is also a powerhouse down that left-hand side, a customer that is difficult to keep at arm's length, keep at bay. And the man that will be marking him is Ramalitse of Lesotho. Perhaps even Mohale will likely double up when the Mozambican fullback bombs forwards down that left-hand side. Throwing to Linho, who isn't exactly playing as a traditional number 9, and Matimbe, Salema, and then Makombe. Matimbe again. Had quite a few options ahead of him. Chose the right one. Here's Abner for Mozambique. Does well to keep it in. Delivers a really good ball. And that's good defending in conjunction between Lepiane and Ramalitse to repel the danger. But they don't get it very far to Lesotho. Here's Salema. He finds Linho. Charifo. Abdul Roroge. Exquisite challenge from the Lesotho captain to deny him the chance to pull the trigger. Makombe gives it away. Nice open contest this one has turned out to be. Noko is through for Lesotho. Can he get one in? Rounds the goalkeeper. 2 players at the back now together with the goalkeeper. Squares it. Big chance for Lesotho. Big chance. Spurned. Hlohlongwane was brought into the starting 11 by Sidwell Mutea, and he really should have stuck that one away. Great determination from Lesotho's number 10. He was a bright spark in their opening clash against Angola. He's made a good start to this contest, and Hlohlongwane was like a deer in headlights. So the shackles are off. Matimbe off Ketsi, and then Makombe got rid. So whether it be here or Soweto, all of the matches have been uniquely special in their own kind of way. Just yesterday, 3 matches were staged on this ground, but this encounter is the second of the day, and it has all the makings of a quintessential COSAFA Under-17 Championship match. It's going to be a match of fine margins. First real golden opportunity presented to Likwena. Cedric, he gives it away to Motati, who was also very assured against Angola after a bit of a wobbly start. Hlojeng. Hlojeng. Gorgeous switch. It's just a pity that the recipient, Mohale, was in an offside position. He has a great eye for a pass. There's Hlojeng. Lifted his head and his intentions were rather clear. But good distance on the pass. And very accurate with that left boot of his. Cuckoo. So that is the first offside of the game. Lipeane attracts Charifo. Now Ketsi does the same with Abdul Roroge. Ramalitse, that one goes out. It's a bit of an unforced error. Not the ideal way to concede a throw-in, to concede ground against Mozambique. Makuakua enters the half of Lesotho once more. Drops the shoulder. And then it goes to Ramalitse, who just pokes it, hopefully. Kuku to Makombe. We saw two spectacular goals in the last encounter between Malawi and Angola. James Lumbe scored a wonderful free kick. As for Angola, their number 9, Lufumbo, converted a wonderfully worked team move. That's simplistic defending from Makombe, but it's effective. Ngongo Naftal of Namibia is the man in the middle, the man wearing black. And the whistleblower for this highly consequential match in Group A. A match that could see Lesotho depart if they aren't able to dig deep into their wells of desire. Dulroroge. Keeper Moleli was very quick off his goal line. But it didn't really matter because that man's flag was raised. So Mozambique have threatened mostly on the left-hand side. Lesotho looking enterprising on the left-hand side as well. Oko, wonderful ball into the box. Another massive opportunity. The consolation prize is a corner kick for Mohale. Oko has started this game off brilliantly for Lesotho. Found the space, found his touch again. And now an opportunity, a corner kick opportunity has been presented, should I say, to Lesotho. The height advantage definitely lies with the men in red and black. But let's see what can come of this corner kick. Makombe rolls it out into touch. And Ramalitse was the man that was left hanging back, takes this throw in now. And Ramalitse gives it away. It's decent pressure from Lesotho. Every time Mozambique seek to play out of their own half, Lesotho just press a little bit higher, but whereas when Mozambique enter the half of Lesotho, the men in white and blue just retract and just retreat a little bit deeper into their own penalty area. The tactic that was on full display against Angola, and it was a tactic that worked for the most part. Hlojeng wanted Motati to come closer. Hlohlongwane forced to go backwards, confronted by a very hungry Matimbe. The long ball also seems to be working for Lesotho, just as it has been for Mozambique over this tournament. These two are definitely attack-minded cohorts. Both adopt a positive brand of play. But a positive brand of play doesn't always guarantee you 3 points in a very short competition. Motati. Oko. A little deflection there. as well to regain possession. Ketsi. Capable off the right and the left-hand side is Ketsi. It's not a good ball from Lipiane. Might he be punished? Might Lesotho now be punished? The move just slows down with Abdul Roroge in charge of possession. Back to Abdul Roroge. Mozambique opting to go down the route of patience. Hlojeng went down to ground after Motati clattered into him. Some miscommunication between those two, but the good kind. First quarter of an hour has been played between these two sides. It's been an intriguing, enticing watch up until now. Lesotho have had the bigger moments, bigger chances. Mozambique have had more of the football. So make of that what you will. Lesotho's leader, Hlojeng, is just receiving some treatment to his quad. As for Motati, he's also in some pain after both of them clattered into one another in their attempts to clear the ball and stop a Mozambican attack. Might just be a case of a dead leg for Motati. So Motati being stretched off here for Lesotho, definitely the one that came the worst off from that challenge with Hlojeng. And the two sides took it upon themselves just to have a sip of water and a whisper in the ear from their coach. And as the laws stipulate, the match will be restarted with a drop ball. Yesterday was a day ridden with goals, with hat-tricks and total domination by Zimbabwe, Zambia and South Africa. And day 2 of this tournament had absolutely everything from one-sided affairs to one taut and tight scoreless draw between Comoros and Mauritius. It was the noon kickoff. So what will it be between Mozambique and Lesotho? A tight and taut affair or more of an open contest? And again, those two, Hlojeng and Motati, not exactly on the same wavelength. But no harm done this time around. But Motati is up and running again. Here's Kuku. Gourmet. What a sight that is. The city of Johannesburg is a backdrop. And Angola, as well as Malawi and Mozambique and Lesotho on the center stage. Yesterday's main event and 3 o'clock kickoff was hardly a contest between South Africa and Botswana. The early goal once again displayed its importance to the team that scores it. Who will get the first and possibly early goal in this confrontation between Mozambique and Lesotho. Hlohlongwane definitely should have stuck his opportunity away. He was an impact sub in the last encounter against Angola. And he gets his first full start of the tournament this afternoon. A little bit heavy from Tarifo, but he makes it stick. Matimbe to Cedric. Still Cedric past 2 Lesotho players, past 3. Look at him go, gliding past the men in blue and white. Good ball to Tarifo, who tries to wriggle his way through. Not to be for Mozambique. Here's Mohale, tries to knock it around the one side of Makua and then pick it up on the other. Goes all the way back then to Kuku. The most convincing and confident ball to Makombe. That's dangerous. Mozambique playing with fire in their attempts to play out of the back. Moko has been shoved to the ground. clear decision, clear free kick. It's definitely been too hot to handle so far for Mozambique. And they've decided that they're going to be extra physical, extra confrontational when Koko gets the ball at his feet. It's perhaps one way to stop a very influential winger / forward. It's a free kick chance here then for Lesotho. Just a two-man wall to conquer. And of course that wall, that line of red as well. It's all about the delivery. Well repelled by Ngome. Does fall for Charifo, who's always up for a run, always up for an adventure into the half of Lesotho. They steal it back. There's a play on the turf, but that player has since risen by the name of Mohale. Motati goes long immediately. So the Lesotho playbook is quite predictable so far. But the same can be said for Mozambique. These two sides still feeling one another out, still establishing exactly what the opposition's strengths and weaknesses are. Homework from afar is different to the real thing. Makuakua does brilliantly to get past Mohale. Finds a really good ball as well. Makuakua tries to link up with Charifo again. His second pass, though, just lacked the legs. We saw something similar from South Africa. Mozambique adopt a similar kind of strategy in the sense that their front line is rather fluid. It's always difficult to tell if Lino or Charifo is leading the line. But Lesotho are definitely not taking the bait. That back four always in a neat line. Always very uniform and very sturdy. But that is only after 21.5 minutes on the clock. Things can change. Things can unveil so quickly. Masitela. Not exactly what he wanted to do and wanted to accomplish. He's also dropped into the midfield, has Masitela, together with Mohale, to give Lesotho some additional support, some additional numbers in the middle of the park, recognizing that Mozambique do have a number of decent ball players in the midfield trenches. Lino. Lojeng. Throughout yesterday's proceedings, there was a lot of cloud cover that made the heat a little bit more bearable and the players' lives a little bit easier. But it's still very heated out there, both in terms of the conditions and the competition. Sosongwane bundled over. Here's Motati to Ngoko. It's a great first touch from Ketsi. Takes it down beautifully and very delicately. Now he turns, faces, and opts to go on a run. Ketsi to Masitela. Mozambique thought that ball went out of play. Masitela puts his head down and decides to try and run beyond Cedric, who wasn't going to let it happen. Read him like a book on that occasion, did Cedric. Mokombe on free kick duty. 4 Mozambican fouls against Lesotho's 3 so far. So it's been a good contest in the middle, a contest that is trying to discern who is able to establish midfield superiority. And the sands are always shifting in these kind of contests. It's good work again from Lino. The forward, the number 9, finding himself in the right fullback slot, which once again proves that the Mozambican front line is incredibly difficult to mark. It's a strong header from Makombe. Needed to be, because Noko was just seeking a flick on. So the first major plot point or plot twist in this match is yet to be seen, yet to be felt. Ramalitse, Lipeane. Only a few tests given to him so far. Flojeng. That's a good line-splitting pass from Flojeng. Noko. Always seeks to make something happen when he gets on the ball. Noko. There's Tlotongwane. And that tussle between Tlotongwane and Cedric is the last tussle before this water break, the cooling break that is definitely much needed due to the scorching heat, 34 degrees Celsius, humidity of 12%, and not the strongest of winds either. Luis Manuel Guerrero opting to have a chat to Abner, who is one of the two changes he decided to instill. Quite a stoic coach. Teacher and his students. So I think he's just tweaking some of the instructions he might have given him at the start of the contest. They just need to try their luck a little bit more, Mozambique. They are in and around the Lesotho penalty box. Perhaps one strike from outside of the box will just quell the nerves. As for Lesotho, they also struggle to find that final product in their game against Angola. That trend has somewhat continued in this contest, but it's very even so far. Despite the scoreline that might suggest a bit of a dull start, it's been anything but between Mozambique and Lesotho. Here's Linho, went through the middle, then the left, and now the right. Here's Cedric, clips it up towards the far post. Arriving late was Makuakua. Lesotho do, however, come away with it with Makupane, but it's taken off his toes by Salema. Here is Salema again, over the head of Ramalitse. And he'll settle for a throw-in, and Mozambique will settle for a throw-in too. There's Makuakua. Abner attempts a back heel. Here's Noko for Lesotho. Breezes past the halfway line. And perhaps just ran out of support, ran out of options and something to try and do. Quiet afternoon so far for Moleli. Flojeng gets the better of Charifo quite neatly. Motati. Lesotho just knocking it about. Eventually the captain knocked it out of play. The coach, should I say, of Mozambique really wanted his Mozambican troops to press a little bit harder with a little bit more enthusiasm. In the opening quarter of an hour, we were privy to quite a fast and fervent start from both these teams, but the pace has slowed down just a tad. Noko attempted to chest it down. It's picked up though by Abdul Roroge, who was just playing in between the lines for Mozambique in this game. Did so against Malawi as well. Well, Charifo was making the wrong run. The pass, I think it was Abner, was obviously looking for the ball over the top, but Charifo wanted it in short to his feet. So both these sides are yet to click in the final third. Hlojeng. It's good mopping up work from Motati. That's certainly not legal. Good protection of the ball from Motati before his ankles were eventually clipped. His fouls also slowly starting to rack up. 10 so far, 6 belonging for Mozambique. Cedric. Abdul Roroge over the top. Route 1 stuff from Mozambique. But those two Lesotho centre halves completing their task to good effect. Hlojeng again. Like a handful of other COSAFA participants, Mozambique never really seemed to grab the occasion and make the most of it. They've had some sporadic appearances over the years, and they are also yet to win this competition, but they have indeed claimed the silver medal twice. And once was in 1994 when South Africa hosted the inaugural COSAFA Under-17 Championship. So they'll be hoping that they can travel all the way to the finale, which will take place on the 13th of December, which is next Friday, and pick up at least their third silver medal in this competition in its 30-year history. Ramalitse to Makupane. Haven't seen or heard too much of him so far. Does offer Sidwell Mutea something else. Not as dynamic as Sosongwane and Ketsi, but he does the unseen work quite well. Here's Ketsi though, not Makupane. Ramalitse. Makuakua. Into Ngome. Again, Mozambique almost playing themselves into trouble. They do. Chance then for Masitela. Shot was well blocked by the Mozambican captain, Makombe. Lesotho just trying to sniff an opportunity, sniff a loose ball from Mozambique. They go over the top again. Will it work out this time for Charifo? And the answer is no. Good clearance from Lipiane. Here's Mohale. After losing their first game, Lesotho are definitely playing with quite a bit of confidence. They did end that match against Angola on top, although they were defeated by the Angolans. So it wasn't exactly a demoralizing defeat, but if they lose today, it will definitely, without question, be demoralizing. Hlojeng. That's a wonderful ball. Masitela. Flag is down. Still Masitela up against Cedric. Squeezes it through his legs and puts in a decent delivery, but a delivery that was way too close to Cuckoo in the end. Abdul Roroge playing more of as a midfielder than a winger. Quite versatile in his approach, as is Abner, who was initially expected by all of us to start on the right-hand side, but he's sowing most of his stuff down the left-hand side. As for Charifo, the man leading the line for Mozambique, he's yet to be presented with one glorious opportunity, an opportunity that he's definitely been crying out for. Ketsi, the pass was on, the attack was definitely on. Lino does well, some personal cost. Two Mozambican players go to ground. Lino was the first one. Seems to be in a little bit more pain than his teammate. And he's holding on to his knee. His spider tech tape wrapped around his hamstring. Around his calves, should I say. Which is massively concerning. Especially considering that this is only the second match. As for Matimbe, he's also getting a physiotherapy session from his teammate Abdul Roroge. As for Lino, some magic spray will do. So two Mozambican players went down, and Motati has been nursing a knock that he picked up in the first quarter of an hour when he clashed against Lojeng. And I think it's that same left leg. And he hasn't quite fully recovered since that knock. He's absolutely vital for Lesotho, provides a lot of balance on this left-hand side and definitely gives a license for Ramalitse and Mohale to attack down the right-hand side. Isn't really a fullback that likes to overlap, likes to undercut and spray passes from deep. He's also getting a rub down with the ice pack on the calf region. So just for the next few moments, Lesotho have been rendered down to 10 men. Free kick here for Mozambique, and Abdul Roroge. Decent delivery just beyond the penalty spot. Well repelled from Lojeng. As we approach the final few exchanges, the last 9 minutes or so in this first half, will either one of Mozambique or Lesotho really go for the jugular and really chase a half-time lead. It'll definitely fill them with the world of confidence. Here's Cedric. That ball just crept out of play. There's Motati. Masitela gets trotted on from the back on his Achilles from Makombe. It's always a nasty one to take when you least expect it from behind. So it's going to be a free kick opportunity here. Lojeng is up for the challenge, so is Makombe. Guilty of giving away that foul. Now he has to do some defending. And it's just the man in front of him that does the defending with a good header from Matimbe. Abdul Roroge. Lino tries to beat Lojeng in a foot race. And he does Lino. Great ball into the box as well. Great bit of play from Mozambique's number 9. Now the attack loses its vigor. Cedric to Lino. Does exactly the same with that clip ball beyond the far post. That one just drifts out of play in the end. Now there was a point where Mozambique were unable to field or choose an under-17 side in this competition from 2002 to 2017. But they did mark their return to this sparkling competition in fantastic fashion, especially in 2019 when they were a hair's breadth away from achieving regional superiority. So they've been close to the goal before. And as of now, they seem to be quite a distance away from it. But that could change with a goal. Abner for Mozambique. Good delivery. It's going to fall here for Lino. He goes to Abdul Roroge. That's brilliant. The first bit was exquisite. The second bit was far from. Great play from Mozambique again. Simple skill from Abdul Roroge. Simple and yet so effective. And then just got far too much elevation on his strike. Hlohlongwane was beaten far too easily on that occasion from a Lesotho point of view. And speaking of the man, Matimbe has gone to ground, clutching onto his face. So might there have been a flailing arm from Hlohlongwane? So just the back of his head hit the mouth region of Matimbe. So Hlohlongwane of Lesotho is going to be the first player to have his name booked. And he's certainly not entirely happy and convinced by that decision. Did seem a little harsh, considering that the knock was from the back of his head. He didn't intentionally try to headbutt from the front, but be it as it may, Matimbe does well to curry some favor from the referee, has a Lesotho player booked, and has yielded a free kick opportunity for Mozambique. Abdul Roge, decent delivery. The goalkeeper was panicking, but in the end the ball just cruised over his fingertips. Exceptional delivery from Abdul Roge. And you know what, the captain of Mozambique, Makombe, nearly, if he was just a centimeter or two taller, could have nodded that one home. Charifo. Now Linho loves to isolate his man and take him on. And he beats both. Beats number 3, Linho. And then he lets himself down. He's without doubt been Mozambique's most enterprising prospect, most likely to influence a goal in this game for them. And he was tying up that Lesotho back line up in knots. Here's Motati. And again, that ball just trickles out into touch when Lesotho were trying to get on the move. It's good stuff from Cedric, but he was pushed by Masitela after getting the better of Masitela. That's one way to stop a player when you're beaten. Masitela committing what you would call a professional foul. Seen a lot of those in this contest. Abdul Roge crosses with the left boot. Good header from the captain. Very close to the edge of the box, so he did incredibly well to try and find the target at least. It was always going to be incredibly difficult. Makombe was always going to be second best in his attempt to head that one home from the edge of the penalty area. Masitela looks to tie Cedric up in knots, just like Abdul Roge and Linho did a few moments ago. Motati. No offside from a throw-in, remember? And Hlohlongwane collects. Hlohlongwane wins another throw-in, this time a little bit closer to the corner flag, which means Motati will throw this one in, line-out style. Well, he was shaping up to do that. It's easy picking. Cedric was always going to beat the slightly diminutive Hlohlongwane to that ball in the air. And after that intervention from Cedric in the box, the ball just hit Ngongo Naftal, denying Mozambique a counter-attack. Lesotho won't mind it at all, that's for sure. Linho to Abdul Roge. Those two seem to have a very good understanding between themselves. It's been a hearty display from Lesotho in this first half. after losing their first brawl against Angola. Flojeng gets good distance on his header. And there's going to be another stoppage here due to a niggling injury. Just 30 seconds remain of normal time in this contest. Abdul Roroge's services will definitely be needed in the second half. So he just might have to bite his tongue, bite his lip, grind his teeth, carry on a little bit longer. Because his endeavor is central to the Mozambican cause. Moleli goes long. This could work out for Lesotho. Twice defending from Ngome. Just headering the ball back to Kuku. So just 120 seconds has been added on. One would suggest that we might expect it a little bit more, considering how many stoppages we've seen in this first half, but only 2 minutes have been added on, 30 seconds of which have already been played. So will these sides settle for the current scoreline in its current form, or will they perhaps push for the opener? You're definitely leaning towards the former. Kua seems to be in a bit of a rush. That's almost lovely from Abner. Time is running out in this first period. Mozambique have looked most threatening from the set piece. Lesotho could have easily opened up the scoring, probably should have, through Hlosongwane, who was just not ready in time for that chance to grab that opportunity. But here's Abdul Roroge, deflection on his strike, but it's easily stopped by Moleli. Great distribution from the young goalkeeper to Mohale. It goes on an inward run. Ketsi with another cushioned first touch. But a disappointing pass to match. And that is how the first half will end between Mozambique and Lesotho. It's scoreless between these two nations. Mozambique have tested their luck, but so have Lesotho. Lepiane has looked incredibly solid at the back. So has Flojeng for Lesotho, and so has Makombe and Ngombe for Mozambique. It's been a defensive masterclass from both these two sides. Their attacking troops have been shut out completely. But will that change? Will the game change in the second half, or will it be much of the same in the second period? It's unforgiving conditions, unforgiving high stakes, and it's 0-0 at half-time between Mozambique and Lesotho. As for the half-time stats, only one goal attempt from Lesotho, and it was probably their most significant one, the most significant one of the first half. Mozambique have tried their luck 4 times more than Lesotho have, but be that as it may, the half-time scoreline reads Mozambique 0, Lesotho 0. Stay tuned for the second half. Makombe gives it away. Nice open contest this one has turned out to be. Ngoko is through for Lesotho. Can he get one in? Rounds the goalkeeper. 2 players at the back now together with the goalkeeper. Squares it. Big chance for Lesotho. Big chance. Was brought into the starting 11 by Sidwell Mutea, and he really should have stuck that one away. Great determination from Lesotho's number 10. He was a bright spark in their opening clash against Angola. He's made a good start to this contest. Kua. Into Ngome. Again, Mozambique almost playing themselves into trouble. They do. Chance then for Masitela. Shot was well blocked by Mozambican captain Mokombe. Lino tries to beat Hlojeng in a foot race, and he does Lino. Great ball into the box as well. Great bit of play. And we're back. Hopefully we are back with a bang between Mozambique and Lesotho. The first half was scoreless, but it was definitely not eventless. An assortment of talent and quality in this match, but someone is really yet to grab a hold of our imagination. The first sub, Manamatela, was also introduced before the start of the second interval in their first clash against Angola. And the very same tactical choice has been opted for by Sidwell Motea. So the players are raring to go. These two are locked at 0-0. And if this result stays as a scoreless scoreline, Angola will still remain at the top of the group, but they will share the top of the standings with Mozambique. As for Lesotho, they are on course to claim their first point at this year's Under-17 COSAFA Championships, but you would think that they want more than just a point. It's going to take something truly special, a near flawless second half performance, and this is the change that Mozambique, Luis Manuel Guerrero introduced. Abner Balane comes off, and in his stead is Kwisimise. There's a great strike, dropped very kindly for Hlohlongwane. Remember, he had that monumental moment in the first half, the moment that he didn't grab, but that really sailed into the top corner. He certainly caught it sweetly. And as for the matter across town in the ladies section, the Lesotho ladies team are also in action, and they have put 8 goals past Comoros. 8 unanswered goals in Soweto. None so far in Auckland Park in this clash between Mozambique and Likwena. There's Hlojeng nearly running into some trouble, into some traffic. It's neat from Hlojengwane, but it's not a sustainable attacking move from Lesotho. Seen a few of those in this match. Here is their number 8 that has already been booked. Tries to win a foul, and he does so. He's made a good start to the second half, following up on that stinging attempt earlier on. Definitely up for the challenge. Can Lesotho win this contest and throw a real spanner in the works in this Group A? Definitely the underdogs in this Group A, currently occupying last spot, but that can change with a victory, which will push them up into second spot. So much to play for. Ketsi, and so much doubters to prove wrong from a Lesotho point of view as well. There's a substitute. Kwisemise getting involved. Hlojeng gets his head on it, and that nearly caught Moleli out. Moleli was trying to anticipate the cross, moved across to his left-hand side, but Hlojeng got his head to it and nearly nodded the ball into the back of his own net. Abdul Roroge asking all of the right questions for Mozambique. And they've got a corner kick here. An opportunity that they would likely want to make the most out of, considering the amount of towering figures they have within their ranks. Abdul Roroge. A little bit of additional airtime on the cross. There's a swing and a miss from Linho Makombe for Mozambique. Clips it across the face, but he was offside. Very tight call, a lot of bodies in the penalty area. But he was well stationed as the linesman. It was exceptionally close. Lipiane was the last defender for Lesotho. Here's Hlojeng. It's very simplistic. It's yet to yield a goal, yet to yield some dividends for Lesotho. Remember that Ngoko got their only goal against Angola, also hit the crossbar. And he rounded Kuku in the first half, put it on a plate for Hlojengwane. Lesotho's number 8 couldn't convert. Is that a chance he, together with his teammates, will live to regret? And live to ponder what if. Makuakua had a rather subdued first 45, played within himself. He'll perhaps need to be a little bit more expressive in the second period. It's a neat touch from Charifo. We've seen a few of those from him. Ramalitse was leisure-like, and he's committed an unforced error. Matimbe for Mozambique turns Ketsi, delivers a ball to Abdul Roroge. Good ball into the box, and it was nodded over by Charifo, who just seemed as if he didn't know a lot about that cross. Delivered to him at pace, and he just got his body all wrong. Didn't attack the cross as he perhaps should have, as he perhaps has during the training sessions. It's the type of chance a forward needs to grab with both hands. There's a spasm. in the calf of Matimbe. Probably just need to lie flat and wait for the agonizing pain of that spasm to leave his system. Conditions definitely playing their part. And it's been a full throttle kind of affair between these two sides. Not as physical as the game we witnessed between Comoros and Mauritius, but it is nonetheless very demanding from a physical aspect. And he's not the first player to be stretchered off, nor will he be the last in this contest. So a bit of a muscle cramp for Matimbe to try and conquer. And he'll hope not to exacerbate the issue. There's a good crowd in again today for this collision. The COSAFA Under-17 Championships, both the boys and the girls, really has been well supported by the locals and some of the travelers from afar. Ngome to Kuku. There is Kuku. Gets his laces through that one. Actually landed at the feet of Charifo, who couldn't quite make it stick. And Moleli rolls it out to Hlojeng. Ketsi plays at the base of that Lesotho midfield, and he does it really well. Ramalitse to Hlofengwane, who's taken out by Salema. Easy decision for the referee, Negongo Naftal. It's clever play from the midfielder, teasing his opponent and just knocking it away when he knows the foul and the challenge will come. So this is a promising position for a free kick, and it really hinges on the type of delivery that Ketsi is able to produce. Needs to aim for that corridor of uncertainty. It's a wonderful ball. Just needed some more willing runners in behind, willing runners that just didn't arrive for Lesotho. They couldn't have asked for a better cross. And Makombe did well not to get a touch on that ball either. Lesotho have been one of the most frequent and prevalent teams in this competition, although they haven't quite been able to achieve real tangible regional success. Haven't really gotten close to AFCON qualification in the past, and the last time they entered this tournament, their fate was already sealed in the group phase, and they'll hope that fate doesn't repeat itself in 2024 in South Africa. Ramalitse, and then it's absolutely drilled against the head, so expect perhaps some concussionary tests. That ball was absolutely blasted. And Abdul Roroge feeling the after effects of that ball to the head. Strong clearance from Lipeane. And Abdul Roroge was just caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. Just a bit of a debilitating knock. A little bit winded. But he's back on his feet. Abdul Roroge was very influential, very lively in the first half. Looked for answers, looked for combinations. And he's been one of two Mozambican players that have really tried to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. He plays a very specific style of football. Not a system player at all, so to speak, is Abdul Roroge. Makombe restarts the move for Mozambique. Here is Charifo. Man on the overlap, a man in the box. Kusimise! Calamity at the back. But Moleli, together with Ramalitse, get away with one massive scare. It was a rather simple ball into the box, and that could have ended up really badly for Lesotho. It would have been a tremendously peculiar way to concede and a frustrating way to concede. Charifo. And as you can see on the bottom of your screen, there's an Angolan player down again. A number of them have struggled with their calf muscle. We saw Charifo and Lino suffer through a similar kind of pain in the first half. But Salem is actually a new man that has been forced to live through a bit of a muscle injury. It's been the name of the game in this game, and it's also been very prevalent throughout the competition. And I think he just overstretched, maybe. Very innocuous, very difficult to judge, and Luis Manuel Guerrero might be forced to make a substitution against his wishes. Kwisimese, good header clear from Slojeng, threw himself at it. Loves the art of defending, does Slojeng. Mozambique are seeking an upper hand in this match. You can really sense it in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Matimbe has recovered from his cramp, and then he pulls up again off screen. But Lesotho can attack nonetheless. Ngoko up against Ngome. He's the most likely to score and produce an impact for Lesotho. That one goes out for a goal kick. There was an Angolan player that hit the turf, a player by the name of Matimbe, but Ngoko wasn't to know. And eventually, there's only so much you can do when you're confronted by 3 opposition players. So not for the first time in this game, Matimbe has gone down. Seems to be a recurring muscle cramp. And it's probably the wiser choice for Luis Manuel Guerrero to make the change, allow Matimbe to recover for their final group match. Can't afford for him to be absent in that last group match, and perhaps even the semi-finals, and perhaps even the final next Friday. Might be wishful thinking from a Mozambican point of view, but they'll certainly be hoping so. Sean Bartlett, former Cape Town Spurs head coach, now ambassador of COSAFA, taking notes down quite vigorously.
Coming in is jersey number 13,
Pisane Liana will replace Morena Masitela, whose impact has been severely limited, partly due to the tough and very rigid defense he's faced in this contest. It's not been a game for attackers. Ketsi, very brave header from Ketsi. Sosongwane, here is the substitute, trying to make an impact from the get-go. Sosongwane, speared ball into the box. And that's handy defending from Makuakua. Right start from the substitute, Lianya. Ngome. Abdul Roroge with his back to goal. Could only do that. Everything seems to be going through Abdul Roroge, everything positive from the Mozambican point of view. Lipiane, good ball from the center half to set Lesotho off. I don't get very far with it. Makuakua to Abdul Roroge. Stern defensive work from Ramalitse. Ball down the line. Abdul Roroge again has the last touch. So according to the schedule and the route to the Final Four, The winners of this Group A might be afforded a little bit of an advantage. Finish top of this group and you shall face the best runner-up of the competition. However, there have also been instances in which the best runner-up has also gone all the way to win the entire thing. So make of that what you will. And there is a world in which the two top teams in this group could face one another for the second time during this championship. Salema as well. So they're going to lose their two midfielders on Mozambique. They're two holding defensive midfielders, two key cogs in the system of Luis Manuel Guerrero. So his hand is forced again. Salema has run his race. It's been a decent shift from him, decent afternoon's work. And now Mozambique are going to make another alteration. Oko. Motati. Can Lesotho capitalize on a slightly weaker Mozambican outfit, on a slightly weaker Mozambican midfield? Ketsi loses out, and then another player goes to ground but is bounced right back up. It's a really stinging challenge. Left something on. Kwisimese did Ketsi. Chance here then for Mozambique. Bounce into the box. Lesotho failed to clear their lines. Abdul Roge delivers from his weaker side, and surprise, surprise, Flojeng is in the way for Lesotho. A double change for Mozambique. Michel Fakwir. Number 10 replacing that man, Salema. Remember, Fakwir captained the side against Malawi. As for the number 18, Sekou Kante comes on to replace Matimba. So a new midfield duo for Mozambique. And the number 10 nearly found a route through. So Michel Fakwir is definitely wanting to be the difference maker for Mozambique. He'll play slightly more advanced than Sekou Kante, who, like his surname suggests, is more of a defensive midfielder. You can see the players together with the referee. Their shirts are absolutely drenched in sweat. It's been a tough task to keep up the pace in this game. Kwisimese, two players in the box, now three for Mozambique. Linho tries to challenge in the air. So it seems like Lesotho are settling for counter-attacking opportunities. Mozambique have a little bit more energy, and that could be due to the substitutions that were made. Here's Ramalite. Well, Fakwir picked up an injury against Malawi, one that he was still trying to get over. And he's playing with an injury this afternoon. The coach will hope that that won't be exacerbated. Moleli. Motati. Kwisimese thought that one went out, and his suspicions were correct. Linho. Makua. Towards Kante. Sharifo is still in the box for Mozambique. Cedric. Moleli makes a good catch. Not the tallest goalkeeper, but he leaped up well and claimed very well in the end. They'll be hoping to keep that clean sheet intact. Look at Ngoko go. Forcing Ngome to put it out of play. It's relentless stuff from Lesotho's number 10. He'll be hoping for his second goal of the tournament. And he's got a little bit less than a half an hour to do exactly that. Motati throws it into the box towards Makupane, who can't flick it on into a more dangerous area. And this time it's Mozambique that will attack. 2v3 here. Linho spreads the play to the right-hand side. That's a disappointing Mozambican attack that loses its steam. Most importantly, they are still in control of possession. Fakir. It's going to take him a while to get to grips with the game. Shosongwane needs to be careful when he's hovering on the ball like that, when he's got Kante breathing down his neck. Massive 23 minutes of normal time to go, especially for Kante, who will look to defend sternly. And then also, he'll definitely be looking to get on the end of a few crosses in the box. Here goes Lesotho, a player goes down in the box. That player being the substitute, Lianya. Their appeals fall on deaf ears. Hlojeng. He's been a great watch this afternoon, Hlojeng. If Lesotho go on to not concede, he'll probably be awarded with the Man of the Match award. It's the kind of leader that Lesotho have needed. Vikwar. Shosongwane. Oko now. Pass option to the right-hand side. Manamatela. Manamatela loses out to a very observant Cedric. And a very focused one. Linho. Lesotho have enough bodies back. Michel Fakir. So will something give? Will someone crack under the pressure? Will there be something special? Will someone provide a moment of pure class? Or are we about to witness the second 0-0 draw of the competition after Mauritius and Comoros yesterday? Ketsi looks to move Lesotho forwards. Manamatela doesn't get there in time. Instead, he's beaten to it by Makombe. Can't spot Linho. Motati. Makupane lifts his head, finds Manamatela, who takes it down exquisitely. It's great stuff from Manamatela, but not great at all from Shosongwane. Kwisimese. Quite a number of Mozambican substitutes out in the park now. Lesotho and their coach Cedric Mutea just waiting until they make a few more changes, just like they did against Angola. Those last few changes in the final 10 or 5 minutes definitely yielded some success. Here's Kuku of Mozambique. Mozambique and their under-17 group of 2 years ago failed to progress out of the group phase in Malawi. It's a fate that they would be adamant to avoid in 2024. The last time Mozambique did feature in the Final Four was 5 years ago when they defeated Eswatini in the semi-finals, but became unstuck against the Zambian champions, who also made a riveting start to this competition just yesterday. Look at him go. It's the first time I've seen something like that. That's what you like to see. A good chuckle before the cooling break. Lepiane seemed to be in a world of pain before jumping right back up. So this is a very crucial few seconds, few moments that the coaches will share with their players as we approach the final quarter of this contest between Mozambique and Lesotho. Neither team have really been willing to go all out in an attacking sense. They've just played within their shell a little bit. As for the Lesotho players, enjoying a sip or two of water. So important for these young lads to remain hydrated and to remain motivated, because 3 points are indeed still on the line. 3 points for Lesotho will see them shoot up to second in the group. But if they lose, they are likely to make an early exit from this competition. A draw would keep them in the competition, and it'll mean that they'll have to win their final group match against Malawi for any chance of progressing into the Final Four. Another sub then for Lesotho. Kalache, the man who started the last game against Angola, replaces Motati. So Motati is a left fullback, Kalache a midfielder, defensive midfielder, so will the new substitute fulfill the role of a left fullback, or will he invert into the midfield to provide additional support? Only time will reveal the answer. Speaking about an answer, can Mozambique find one? Can they score first, just like they did against Malawi on Wednesday? Abdul Roroge, a lot of hang time on the cross. It was blocked by Flojeng just in front of his goalkeeper, who also had it covered. They can really sense an opportunity from set pieces, can Mozambique? Flojeng has been a marvelous watch, not only in this game but against Angola as well, putting his name in the hat with regards to being in the best 11 of the group phase in this competition. But it's still a little bit too early to make those assumptions. Disappointing corner second time around from Abdul Roroge. It's Kalache. Now these two do share one unfortunate commonality, and that is that both nations have been in and out of this tournament in years gone by. But they say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and their absence has increased their appetite for success, and Mozambique's appetite for a goal has also increased in the last few minutes. Lesotho's last outing in this tournament ended abruptly. Remember when they finished last in a group that contained Zambia and Eswatini? Good ball in, and an excellent save, I think it was, from Moleli. Got a good left hand on it, and then it's drilled in from Kwisimese, who's seeking to recycle the attack for Mozambique. They've got a lot of bodies in the attacking third. This could be their chance. Spin, and then a strike from Lino is wildly wide. As dangerous as Mozambique have been from the set piece, Lesotho have been just as astute at the back. Mozambique were appealing for a penalty. The goalkeeper got the first touch, but I think the Mozambican players thought that Makupane got a touch on the ball. Here's Ngoko for Lesotho. He goes to ground. He wants a penalty this time around. No penalty there, no penalty here. It's going to have to take something a little bit more than that, and that's what happened. He left his leg there, in there, did Ngoko, perhaps just waiting for a touch, and when he felt it, threw himself to the ground. So perhaps a little bit too soft, but the goalkeeper here, Kuku, decides to go full Edison and gets away with it. There's a reason why goalkeepers aren't outfield players, and that's probably why. But he did enough there. Handled the situation quite well in the end, did Kuku. Not the strongest throw there from Kalache. Here come Mozambique though. Sniffing blood here with Charifo. Who does keep the move alive. Chance! And it's no surprise once more that Hlojeng threw himself in harm's way. Lino caught it quite well. Himself and the Lesotho captain Hlojeng on their backs in the penalty box. Charifo did exceptionally well to keep it in. And then on the half volley, Lino tried his luck. Who needs a goalkeeper when you have Hlojeng? That's a great block. I'm not too sure what the issue is here for Lino. Just might be muscle fatigue, generally speaking. As for Hlojeng, there's no doubt that he's still feeling the after effects of that ball hitting his head. Something similar happened earlier on when the ball clattered against the head of Matimbe. But that was a massive opportunity, and I think it was goal bound from Lino. Now it's going to be interesting to see what type of team Mozambique field in their final group match, which will be against Angola. It'll be a very tantalizing fixture. Hlojeng, he's been an absolute warrior for Lesotho this afternoon. A warrior in every sense of the word. And as the cliche goes, this captain has most definitely led from the front. He's set an exceptionally high standard. So not only are Mozambique and Lesotho stationed in the same group in the men's section, but their ladies teams are also paired alongside one another. And both of their ladies teams won their first match and look well poised to enter into the semi-final stage. Question is, will one of these two progress into the final four? A win for either one of them would definitely instill them with quite a bit of belief. Here's Makua Kua. Does well, does Makua Kua. Better than well, in fact. Headed out from Makupane for Lesotho. Here's Kwisimise. Abdul Roroge opens up the angle, delivers across with his left boot. Moleli called it early and caught it well. And this is how Lesotho have chosen to attack. A simple long ball from the goalkeeper, collected by Ngoko. The attack is once again halted by Mozambique. Lesotho perhaps need to mix it up a little bit more. There's Ngoko sandwiched between two Mozambican players. Any mistake now will be so costly. Lipeane just toe punts it to Charifo. There's another stoppage here. And it's that man, Lino.
Substitution for Mozambique. Coming out is jersey number 10,
Michel Fakwir, the substitute, will be substituted and will be replaced by Kenzo McHugh.
And coming in is jersey number 15,
It's not often that you see that, substitute being substituted, but he's got so many injuries to contend with, does Luis Manuel Guerrero. And the other change is Levanor Timbe. He will step in for Abdul Roroge. Sees his number on the board, but really doesn't want to make his way off the field of play. Or is it the wrong man? So some confusion here. And it seems like against his wishes, Abdul Roroge makes his way off the field of play. And of course, in his place is Timbe. Here is Timbe. Great ball from the substitute. Almost producing an instant impact. Moleli drills it beyond the halfway line. The Mozambican head coach, Luis Manuel Guerrero, putting a lot of hope and faith into his plethora of substitutions. Timbe produced a good ball to Charifo, who really should have made more of that moment. Nonetheless, good goalkeeping again from Moleli. He would have been disappointed in the fashion in which he conceded the first Angolan goal on Wednesday afternoon. But he's been very composed this afternoon. The type of goalkeeping performance that has been difficult to critique, impossible to critique. As for the attacks of both teams, they'll have to sharpen up before their final group collisions. Charifo. Slojeng gets the last touch before it goes out of play, or no, did it come off an Angolan player? Well, this one, Michel Fakwir got a yellow card before he was substituted. Hasn't been his tournament so far. Free kick for Mozambique, cleverly manufactured by Kwisi Mese, who just used all of his football IQ to get the better of Kalache. Just guiding it around the corner and simply waiting for the contact. In terms of fouls, it's 12-10. In terms of the scoreline, it's still 0-0 between Mozambique and Lesotho. But is that to change right now? Makuakua puts in a really good delivery into the box, and it evades everyone. Mind you, Lesotho probably got the last touch on that one. Such a great delivery in from Makuakua. And the last touch might have come off Ngoko. Another set piece for Mozambique. Another disappointing set piece for the men in red. And now they'll have to turn attack into defense. Flojeng, off his knee, then off his left boot. Then onto the chest of Kante. So surprised to see Lino is still on the field of play, gingerly making his way around the turf. Here he is, Lino. Then he goes to ground after failing to make contact with that pass. Makuakua goes for goal. Easy pickings for Moleli, who kicks it out of his hands. Here's Ngoko in a physical confrontation with Cedric. Cedric goes to ground, but only after he managed to get his clearance away. Kalache squeezes out a good ball to Hlohlongwane, who turns in the middle, turns to no real good effect. Makupane also runs into red traffic. But the same happens with Mozambique. Oko nearly got there ahead of Cedric. Didn't. And here come Lesotho. They've been defending for the most part of the last 15 minutes. And now they are going to be presented with a promising set-piece opportunity and a prime piece of real estate. And again, Cedric took the bait. You really don't want to give a free kick away in that position with 86 minutes on the clock. And it seems like Ketsi will be the one that's going to take this free kick for Lesotho. It's been a tough attacking afternoon for both Mozambique and Lesotho, but one just suspects that there might be a final twist in the tale. A goal now would send one of these two teams into a state of pure joy, pure elation. And the interesting thing is here whether or not Ketsi will choose to just clip it into the penalty area, or perhaps will he look to drive it in towards the front post region and look to catch Cuckoo off guard. He might even decide to play it short. Options aplenty for Ketsi. Is this his moment? Is this Lesotho's moment? Ketsi, good ball in! A lot of pace on the delivery, but it's not tucked away. It wasn't tucked away from Mana Matela, who was unmarked in the middle, the little man, and went with a very difficult lace technique when he perhaps should have just side booted that one in on the instep. Timbe. Linho gives chase, despite being injured. And then I think because of the injury, that one just goes beyond his touch. Aside and apart from this youth tournament, some may be aware of the fact that the Mozambican and Lesotho senior sides are still very capable and well positioned to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Although Mozambique are slightly better positioned to do so. Mozambique here are slightly better positioned to conjure up the opener. It's a brilliant block from Ramalitse, who had to come across from the right fullback slot into the centre-back role and put in a really good block off the backside of his shoulder from Linho, because that header was definitely, again, goal-bound. It's been a gutsy defensive performance from Lesotho. Makua, ball into the box. Moleli got a fingertip to it, and then it's drilled again, claimed again from Moleli. And then he yanks it out. Good double stop from the man in yellow. Sosongwane tries to get the ball back from Kwisimese. Mozambique conceded late on. Can they score late on? Yeah! Trying to pull a Malawi on themselves. And another moment goes a-begging for Lebanon Timbe. Makua has looked very impressive in the last quarter of an hour. He's produced a handful of opportunities for Mozambique, and on another day he could have been an assist maker, not once but twice. And again, although it's 0-0, these two sides have been presented with glorious moments to score. Makombe gives that kick the lot. Charifo. Commits a foul after giving it away. Shojeng to Makopane. That is what all remains in this game. 4 minutes to go in this contest between Mozambique and Lesotho. The second round of fixtures in Group A will come to an end in 4 minutes' time. Less than 4 minutes' time now. Cedric Linyo waiting for that one to drop. Hlojeng waiting for it to drop. And he dealt with it expertly. So unlike today, tomorrow, in other words, day 4 of this competition will churn out 4 fantastic fixtures. Namibia versus Eswatini and Zambia versus Zimbabwe are the 2 tantalizing tussles that will take place in Soweto. Whereas this ground, it's 2 very significant matches in Group C that will kick off, starting with Botswana versus Mauritius at noon and South Africa versus Comoros straight after. As for this main event on this fateful Friday afternoon, the opener is still yet to be conjured up between Mozambique and Lesotho. And this is the man that will probably start their final group game, Timbe. And the Mozambicans' final and most vital Group A encounter will take place on Sunday afternoon on this very patch of grass. Together with Angola, those 2 nations will close out the weekend's events. And just like their Mozambican foes, Lesotho will take to the field again on Sunday, but the battleground will instead be in Soweto. Kuku watches that one into his breadbasket. Malawi is the team Lesotho have to defeat if they wish to travel back home with a scalp and some additional pride. Free kick goes the other way. A lot of credit needs to go to Linyo. He's soldiered on, played through so much pain. And he could have actually scored if it wasn't for that block from Ramalitse 5 minutes or so ago. But these young men are hungry. Despite any injuries they may face. That looked dangerous just for a brief second. But Muleli makes a good catch again from that chance from Kante. Here come Lesotho then with Makupane. Then Manamatela is offside. So once the curtains draw close on today's events and all of the weekend's results are set in stone, we will soon reach the boiling point, the point of reckoning and dream fulfillment when the semi-finals get underway next week, Wednesday. And in just 48 hours after that, the winner of this competition will be made known to the southern region as a whole and the entire African continent. Remember, only 2 COSAFA affiliated nations will achieve the invitation to Cote d'Ivoire. That's an excellent sliding challenge. Ketsi is caught out of position. Chance there for Mozambique to win it. And that is an absolute stunner from Lebanon. Timbe. And with that goal, Lesotho might be on their way back home. And Mozambique might be on their way to the semi-final stage. What a way to win it. We've been crying out for a moment like that. Luis Manuel Guerrero has been crying out for a moment like that, and it's a moment that brings Lebanon Timbe to tears. It's a dream goal. A dream goal and a dream strike out of this world. To do that on this stage with only seconds left on the clock. With the buzzer, with the whistle soon to be blown, Timbe has come up with a moment of pure ingenuity, pure unfiltered magic. What a way to close out the show. Unless Makupane for Lesotho, can they conjure up a late equalizer? There's a shot from range. Deflection by Makuakua is claimed by Kuku. It's a really unfortunate way to lose from a Lesotho point of view. But what a feeling for Mozambique. And that is that. It is finished off in grandstand fashion for Mozambique. Lesotho are heading home. As for Mozambique, they've risen to the top of the Group A log together with Angola. Those two nations are on 4 points apiece. The hero for Mozambique is a player by the name of Leonor Tembe. Remember the name. The Club de Desportas de Costa has produced a moment he will surely never forget. As for Lesotho, they've been really good in both of their matches against Angola and Mozambique. And yes, they've been unfortunate to lose both of those matches. But after 2 encounters in the COSAFA Under-17 Championships, Lesotho unfortunately have nothing to show for their hard defensive toil. They've been rendered to tears. You can see how much it means to these young lads. He's had a remarkable individual tournament, has Lepiane. And it's a heartbreaking way to lose. It truly is. They could have won this game themselves, but it wasn't meant to be. The football gods, unfortunately for Lesotho, did not favor them. Instead, they were on the side of Mozambique. What a show. What a showstopper of a goal from Leonor Tembe. The full-time scoreline reads Mozambique 1, Lesotho 0. What a watch. What a game of football. As for the full-time statistics, Mozambique tried their luck more than Lesotho did. No shots on target for Lesotho in this game. They were very tough defensively, but lacked ideas in the final third, and that is what eventually cost them a result against Mozambique and a place in the final 4. Mozambique have defeated Lesotho, which means Lesotho remain at the bottom of the log with 0 points. Malawi shift down to 3rd with 2 points. And now Mozambique and Angola are locked at 4 points apiece, and those two will play against one another Sunday afternoon for the first prize, for position number 1 in Group A. What a game of football, and what a way to end it off. And there is the log for you. Angola number 1, Mozambique 2nd. Those two, if they are managed to claim a point in their final group game, they will likely go on to feature in the final 4. As for Malawi, they definitely need a victory against Lesotho and then perhaps need a favor from either one of Angola or Mozambique. It's still too early to tell, but Angola and Mozambique are definitely in total control of this group. Thank you so much for watching along with us. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Quando o jogo, agora pensando outro jogo, já ganhamos esse. Acabou, todo mundo se cagou. Acabou, passou. Vamos pensar outro jogo. Vamos pensar outro jogo. Vamos pensar outro jogo.
And in his stead is Kwisimise. There's a great strike. Remember, he had that monumental moment in the first half, the moment that he didn't grab. There's a substitute. Kwisimise getting involved. Lojeng gets his head on it, and that nearly caught Moleli out. But Lojeng got his head to it and nearly nodded the ball into the back of his own net. Abdul Roroge asking all of the right questions for Mozambique. Makombe restarts the move for Mozambique. Here is Charifo. Man on the overlap, a man in the box. Kwisimise! Calamity at the back. But Moleli, together with Ramalitse, get away with one massive scare. It was a rather simple ball into the box, and that could have ended up really badly for Lesotho. It would have been... Speaking about an answer, can Mozambique find one? Can they score first, just like they did against Malawi on Wednesday? Abdul Roroge A lot of hang time on the cross. They can really sense an opportunity from set pieces, can Mozambique. Jeng has been a marvelous watch, not only in this game, but against Angola. And of course, in his place is Timbe. Here is Timbe. Great ball from the substitute. Putting a lot of hope and faith into his plethora of substitutions. Timbe produced a good ball to Charifo, who really should have made more. Makua. Ball into the box. Moleli got a fingertip to it, and then it's drilled again. And then he yanks it out. Good double stop. Achieve the invitation to Cote d'Ivoire. That's an excellent sliding challenge. Ketsi is caught out of position. Chance there for Mozambique to win it. A dream goal and a dream strike. Out of this world. To do that on this stage with only seconds left on the clock. With the buzzer. strike rate, if you like,
Cameraman. Oh, behind.
in regard to the wickets.